Three Wivenhoe Dam engineers have been referred to the Crime and Misconduct Commission over accounts they gave to the Flood Commission of Inquiry. The Commission's final report today also highlighted what it called the inertia of government when it came to handling the large volumes of water heading into the Brisbane River. But Justice Kate Holmes concluded that to a large degree the floods were handled to the best of the ability of the system, though she remarked there was plenty of room for improvement in emergency planning. Rather than being an election vote changer, the major parties agreed with the report and promised to implement it in full. Kathy McLeish reports.
Finding that there has been a breach of the manual opens the possibility of legal action. I wanted them to have the truth. Now they've got it. This report is a comprehensive, rigorous examination of all the matters surrounding our terrible floods.
For Queenslanders looking for someone to blame and answers to the catastrophe that unfolded last summer, this report is crucial.
Premier, I have the pleasure to present to you the final report of the Queensland Floods Commission of Inquiry.
Well, Judge Holmes, can I thank you on behalf of the people of Queensland? Can I thank you? Can I thank your deputies? Can I thank all the team at the Commission? This is a very important piece of work. I look forward to reading your findings and your recommendations. I know it's been a very intense period of time, and I thank you for your work.
Well, may I just say that anybody who is genuinely interested in how we manage flood risk will read it closely, all parts of it.
And so they did. The findings were mixed. On the controversial management of Wivenhoe Dam, the Commission found the flooding in Brisbane and Ipswich could have been reduced to some degree had the dam had its capacity reduced to 75% prior to the December rains. But to appreciate what the magnitude of the rain would be and that it would fall in the dam area would have required a more than human capacity of prediction. What is concerning, though, is the apparent inertia of government when the possibility was raised. The Commission also found the dam's manual was not complied with. What should not be overlooked is that the manual itself was ambiguous, unclear and difficult to use, and was not based on the best, most current research and information. Three dam engineers, Rob Eyre, Terry Malone and John Tibaldi, face more scrutiny. The Commission says the CMC should investigate whether the documents they prepared and the evidence they gave constitute a criminal offence or misconduct. It's the trigger lawyers and homeowners have been waiting for, an inkling that the water manager and dam operator, SEQ Water, may have a case to answer.
The dam operation manual was breached during this event. This does open the potential for legal action against SEQ Water, but it does not of itself establish liability. But any consideration of any claims will be required by the state to be managed by SEQ Water. Any claims that are made against SEQ Water, people will be treated fairly.
This is now a legal matter, as I understand it, and the Commissioner clearly believes that they have not acted totally appropriately. That's what the Commissioner seems to appear, and then says a recommendation, and that's why it now needs to go to the CMC, as we've heard, and they need to be afforded natural justice. So remember, they have been found guilty. I do say this, they have been found guilty of nothing at this time, and they needed to be afforded natural justice.
I think those three engineers are just scapegoats. I think that the CMC inquiry is not about the flood management or the dam management. It's about how they gave the evidence into the inquiry. So you're not going to have any closure in regards to Wivenhoe Dam.
Volunteers and government agencies who stepped forward in the time of crisis were commended. Queenslanders can be relieved that governments at all levels were able to provide a prompt, if not perfect, response, which compares favourably with the apparent paralysis of government agencies and breakdown in order apparent on the Gulf Coast after Hurricane Katrina struck New Orleans.
More than anything, I wanted it to tell us what we could do better in future. We had an event that was unprecedented. We have an event that tested every single part of our system in a way that it had never been tested before. I still think that we owe a great debt of gratitude to all those frontline responders. They were simply magnificent. But they'll be the first ones to tell you that if there's a lesson to be learnt for the next event, they want to learn it, and that's what we're doing with this report.
Weather experts say Queensland, like elsewhere, is going to experience more floods. So all eyes are on future planning and trying to save many from the heartache and devastation. The Commission wants councils to implement buyback programs for people whose homes are likely to be flooded again. And it called for state and local governments to carry out a comprehensive flood study of the Brisbane River catchments, which would form the basis of better planning laws, property information and emergency planning, ultimately providing simple flood maps. The Commission put it this way. A map that reflects the results of a comprehensive flood study is the most valuable form of flood map and can usefully inform important public and commercial decisions. It can demonstrate not just the potential extent of a flood, but also the risk of its occurrence and the manner in which it might behave. That's going to put a lot of pressure on local government.
Local governments are responsible for floodplain mapping, land buybacks and other matters. But I'm deeply aware that for many local governments these responsibilities are often beyond their resources. So I'm pleased to announce today that a new Labor government will reserve $40 million over the next 3 years from the Local Government Grants Program to work in partnership with local governments.
I will make the same commitment the Premier's made.
We welcome it and we're pleased that it's been announced. We'll sit down and discuss the details, but it's a task that will take a number of years to complete, so ongoing funding will probably be the issue on the table as well.
The inquiry may have wrapped up, but for many still struggling with insurance companies and denied a payout, the matter is far from over. The Commission said some fundamentals of flood insurance had caused considerable stress to policyholders. It went on to say, many insurance policies did not provide cover for damage caused by flood, but did provide cover for stormwater damage and flash flood. Many people did not believe or did not realise that their policies excluded flood from cover. Definitions of flood in policies varied and were generally complicated. Despite an ongoing deep sense of dissatisfaction from policyholders, the Insurance Council of Australia thought the performance of its members was more than adequate.
It gives us a bit of courage and encouragement that we actually did do a very good job during these unprecedented events. They were a strain on all resources, including government and the private sector, and I think the insurance industry came out of it extremely well.
But since the disaster, 3 federal reviews have made recommendations aimed at better protecting people when they buy insurance. And the Commission didn't let the insurers off lightly, reminding customers they have the right to know why they didn't get a payout. In all, those who were affected are still digesting whether the report gives them enough ammunition to take their fight further. Brisbane city business owners are considering legal action.
This certainly is something we have discussed with our insurer.
It probably affected us business-wise because we lost a lot of customers. A few of the towers didn't open up for a couple of months after that, so we lost a lot of revenue from that.
And lawyers say they have been approached by many others considering class actions.
The report clearly assists a class action. The class action is not a certainty at this point in time, but the findings as to the breach of the operations manual of the Wivenhoe Dam, together with the finding that most likely the proper operation of the dam would have resulted in lesser releases of water, give support to the proposition that a class action can proceed.
The next instalment of the flood drama could be in court, with the Commission officially over.
I'm no longer Commissioner.
It's over to the CMC, local government, and most importantly, those who will be in power after next Saturday to take up where it left off.